Hey folks, we are back again, and Simon is over in the car archive reading a car magazine, as we would hope he would be researching further for greatness. Retro cars, early retro cars at that, by the looks of it. That's going to be issue 2 or 3.
That's something like that. It says new on the top there, and
it tells you exactly what it is.
September 2003. That one.
Fabulous.
Yeah. That's 17 years ago. Is it? Is that how that works? Numbers?
Oh my lord, that is true. That's the most terrifying thing in the world.
Last week, was it last week that we were looking at this? This is 2000. This is 20 years old.
And that magazine's old enough to vote. So.
Yeah. They're weird. Although it couldn't vote in the UK because this is French.
It's French.
That's right.
Well, how are you doing today, Simon?
I'm all right. Yeah.
Better than last week.
Yeah. I'm wearing the same clothes.
Well, me too. This is my Friday outfit.
Yeah. Is it Friday?
Yeah, definitely Friday.
Love Fridays.
Fridays are the best.
It does feel like Friday now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look. So today we are going to do some more of Simon's. I point this way because it flips the video around when I come to edit it. So if I point that way, it's going to be wrong. Anyway,
I'm looking both ways, and I can't see you.
Simon's illustrations today. So he can see what he remembers about doing any of these.
It's amazing what I can't remember. Do you know, I'm thinking of doing a car histories thing. So I'm trying to get my own car histories together. People should tell us if they want to see car histories.
Yeah.
Like grabbing all their pictures together and all that sort of stuff. And then we go through them. You can talk about each of the cars. And my car count is above 50 now, which is a bit
That's
weird.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to see a 50 car history. I think you might need to take a selection.
I think it might be a case of sending over some pictures to whoever's doing the interviewing, whether that be me or you or someone else or whatever, and then people pick them out and they go, oh yeah, I bought this one for £5 and sold it for £4.
I am fully on board with that. So if anybody's up for that, give us a shout, and you can either have the delicate ministrations of Simon or just the grumpiness of me, and you'll be fine.
That's it. But anyway, I was only going to say that on that subject, I have forgotten so many cars. Even I was a long way down the list before I remembered that I'd owned a Vitesse Estate, which was like quite a big one for me at the time, and all that sort of stuff. And 2CVs, totally forgotten I had any 2CVs. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. The amount of cars that have ended up with me being the last owner is a bit too embarrassing.
That's absolutely shocking. Yeah. I think I've only got one car that I ended up being the last owner of, although that is once again probably a function of me just giving them away. So I'm definitely not the last owner.
Yeah.
Right, let's screen share and get ourselves into the mode.
You must be running out of these pictures.
I am. I'm getting close. Look at this.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Dave's favourite phrase.
Yeah.
This was one of your early ones, I believe.
It is early. You can, because it's got the when you look at the interior on it, which is just some random lines. That's how I did interiors for a little while.
So I picked this just because I remember it fairly early on, and just liking it because of its simplicity.
Yeah.
TSW Holsteins-ish wheels on a slammed Granada estate. What more do you want? But you must have had reasonings for picking these particular estates, and there's other stuff going on in this picture with your luggage and stuff. So to talk to us about it.
I shall tell you, it's because this is actually an incredibly good Ford special edition at the time. It's based on the Chasseur, I believe. That's what it says on that red bit on the front wing.
Well, hold on one second. As foreign language experts, yes, that's a Chasseur.
Chasseur, which means probably something to do with horses or something. I don't know. I mean, you'd obviously your pronunciation rather than the words. So
I don't know what a Chasseur actually means.
We know we've got that right. It probably means horses. Although the chances of having a special edition horses,
A horse would be a chevalier.
would it?
Yeah.
Would it?
Yeah.
Chevaux, I thought. Yeah. Anyway, it does look like a horsey edition, but this is almost entirely Ford's work because they produced this. I think it must have been near the end of the run before the Scorpio, so the last of the Mark II Granadas. My dad worked at Ford when this came out, and I think I must have had a brochure somewhere. And they're just so cool. They just threw all the spec at it. They also did a weird thing where they blacked out all the trim. So there's no chrome on it. Factory de-chromed.
Oh, it's factory de-chromed. That's nice.
Factory de-chrome. That is, yeah, I barely touched this thing. I think the spotlights are factory. It's just amazing. And in fact, that pearlescent colour on the wheels is also factory. Whilst the wheels aren't factory, it had the TRX alloys that came in, like the gear alloys on it, I think, but in... Well, not 15s because they're metric, in a stupid metric size, which nobody can get tyres for.
Of course.
Yes. But, all it is a standard chasseur. You'll have to tell me how to say that properly.
Chasseur means hunter.
Does it? There you go.
It does.
Horses. Well done. I knew you'd remember. And the TSW Holston wheel, which is one of my favourite wheels, and it's very similar to the Audi A8 wheels. We'll ignore the fact that, weirdly, the centre isn't actually in the centre of these wheels. That front one would cause you real issues when you're driving along.
Mere details.
That's it. It's a drawing. Don't worry, calm down. It's only a drawing. It's... and I love TSW Holston wheels, and they sort of suit things that are slab-sided, and I think here they're exactly the right choice. And the luggage, which you're wondering about, I'm sure, and this is like the image that I sent off to Simon to go in Classic Ford, and I gave him a choice of 2 or 1 to put in rather than a floating one, just if he fancied it, including on the page. Is also factory as well.
No way. That's amazing.
Fitted, the Granada Chasseur came fitted with luggage that I think sits either side of the tail of the in the boot there. They are. This is way up on my. If I was to have Classic Fords deliberately, this would be right up the top. This is a super cool car.
Incredible car. I love any car that comes with matching luggage, whether or not it's built for that car originally or been retrimmed to match your car.
Yeah.
Matching luggage is absolutely heroic for me. So I like this a lot.
If we ever do an episode, which we almost definitely should because there's so much to run with, cars with matching luggage included, then I think that the Chasseur might come in as the cheapest car with matching luggage that you can buy if you can find one. Yeah.
More than likely.
That's it.
Right, let's move on to our next one.
I can't wait for that episode. Matching luggage episode.
Retro Rides Talks matching luggage. It's going to be a thrill.
You put that together.
Yeah, I'll make that happen. I like this. And I like this because you notice this isn't a wagon themed episode, although Simon will know wagons are on my mind at the moment. But these 2 wagons jumped out at me. The third thing is not a wagon. But I quite like this as an updated Classic Ford type look. I like that it's, I'm assuming these are Fiesta ST wheels or Focus wheels, something like that.
No. There's people like both of our viewers now are going, I know what they are.
Oh, damn you 2 viewers. You know more than I.
That's it.
But I like the fact that slightly, to me, it looked like a modernized-ish, without going overboard version of a nice Escort wagon. So talk us through it, Simon.
I will tell you what's happened here, and it harks back to our recent podcast with Dan, where you talk about ideas. The ideas on this are lifted entirely from a Citroen DS3.
Of course that is. Of course, those DS3 wheels.
That's it. Those are Citroen DS3 wheels, and that is Citroen DS3 paint as well. So you can buy them with a different coloured roof, and you probably see them driving around and maybe not notice them, but this is why your eyes need to be open. That's a blue roof and a white body as per Citroen DS3. Obviously, I've brought it in with the old Ford grille emblem there, which is the earlier Mark IIs. I think that's quite sought after. think, having Ford there instead of a Ford badge. So I fitted one of those and a cheeky chin spoiler, not from a DS3.
No, that would be Golf GTI, because they're all from Golf GTI.
Yeah, I think it's probably a Japanese one, but in fact it's not. It's just me drawing one.
You can do whatever you want.
Could be, yeah, I've just drawn it. Yeah, and it's
made it with cardboard.
It's not. It's made of fish scales.
Right.
This one. Yeah. You can't see it because I've just drawn it. But anyway, stop being stupid. It's a Citroen DS inspired Escort, and it's completely dechromed, which is really effective just when you do that. And something that Ford never did but probably should have done is actually painted between the door pillars there, that B-post paint, which just really modernises it and gives it a sort of a sleeker look.
It's interesting. I didn't know what the origin was, but I had picked up on the fact that it was a more modernised version of it, and it's interesting that just wheels and colourway makes that happen.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it's a very. I suppose the dechroming is the first thing. Like, modern cars don't really have chrome. I mean, some of them might have a shiny grille nowadays, but the majority of them do not.
No, and it's interesting actually, because what you've done is to modernise it, you've used the styling of a retro styled car, which is a little bit strange. Also, the wheels, whilst I'm not sure about, as disclaimers on Centrebore and stuff, are 4x108, so there's a chance that they bolt straight on.
Just give it a go.
Yeah.
They should be relatively plentiful. Yeah, no, I like this a lot, and now I know the story behind it. I like it even more. Yeah. I think you've been restrained in not putting another stripe on it, which I guess is the DS3 thing, in that it doesn't. But I would be very tempted to just break it. Yeah, just break up this line a little bit, because it's quite slab-sided. But then
it's got blue wheel centers on it.
Yeah, it's true.
That's it.
But,
so it's carried out. It's I like to when there's a detailed colour, I like to have it at sort of in each part. There'd be a badge on the back that's blue or something like that. I don't know if the stripe's necessary.
Well, that's maybe, it does seem it might just be overkill. But I like.
I like your thinking.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like this a lot. Right, so let's move on to our final picture, which will probably be a surprise to absolutely everybody.
Because it's not one of my pictures.
It's this one. This is just a special treat for Simon, but also I quite like them. So this is a Nissan Leaf, which is an electrical car. It's all electronical. But given some 90s graphics and some stancy stance and some smoked out lights, and it's just quite an effective thing on what is a fairly bulbous modern car. One thing I will say about the Nissan Leaf before we launch into Simon gushing about them is that they are much, much larger than you think they are from the photos. In my experience,
not quite a super mini, are they? They're quite big.
They look like they should be a super mini, and then you see one in the flesh, and it's enormous. But what's you thinking here, Simon?
They're big. This is just this is one I did for the motivation pages of Street Machine, and they just let me do whatever I like. So I did this matched up with a Generation 1 Prius. With high ashes on it, which is exactly what you'd expect to see. But this is clearly done in sort of that 80s, 90s style. It's a bit Miami Vice, isn't it? A bit mini truck.
A little bit new wave type thing.
Yeah. Or not Miami, because it's got a California number plate on it. Look at that. Look, electric. Wouldn't you just love to live somewhere you can make up your own number plates?
Yeah.
That would be good. The wheels, do you recognise the origin of the wheels?
I don't recognise the origin of the wheels, but I do like them.
It's quite literal in this case, because I did take them off of another drawing. They are Porsche wheels. They're like Cup 2 wheels on a 964 RS. Those obviously painted in white on some sort of adapters. I have no idea what stud pattern Leafs are. Probably 5 by 114.3.
Yeah, more likely.
That'd be my guess. But yeah, I like electric cars. I think the Leaf isn't a particularly good one. Our good friend Fergus, who had a Kia Soul EV, which is a very nice electric car. His lease has just run out, and he's just bought himself a Leaf to replace it because he can't afford the lease on the new Kia Soul EV, which is more expensive to rent to lease. And he's gone out and bought himself one of these. So, Fergus, if you're watching, we expect to see this quite soon.
Yeah, I mean, he knows a thing or two about working on cars. So, yeah, we will expect to see some kind of slammed Leaf from your lease. Lease a car, slam it, and
no, he's not leasing now. You see, he's just gone and bought.
He's just gone and bought. Okay,
that's what he's done. He's thought.
One of the advantages of some of these modern cars is they already come with pretty hidden handles and stuff, so you don't need to like declutter the outside because they're already fairly decluttered. I find.
I don't know whether I've shaved the handles. It's really weird.
I thought these had weird handles that were like up in the thing. I might be wrong, but I have a feeling that they were, because they need to be like super aerodynamic. They're either flush to the bodywork or they're hidden in door jabs and stuff. They'll
have done something funny, wouldn't they? They would. Yeah. They would. But it's got no door, no handles at the back either. I think I've probably shaved it, which when you're illustrating is a completely different process because you just don't bother drawing them.
No.
Which is it's not the effort of taking them off. It's the effort. It's just you just don't do it.
You're saving yourself time versus giving yourself a job that would take you many days and require respraying various panels on your car. I've always wanted to remove the handles or something, smooth something nicely, but I'm not anywhere near in a position to be able to do such a thing. So I shall get somebody else much more qualified than I. But then you have to bloody repaint it, and that's where it all goes horribly wrong and gets very expensive.
Back in the old Cowlook days, you'd get like when 17-year-olds could afford Beetles and Type 3s they'd buy from local old people, and then they'd just do it with filler, just take it off and then just have a primered patch on it. That's what Bug Jam was back in those early 90s and the late 80s and stuff. That's what Bug Jam was. It was just a load of very cheap Beetles with primered patches and bits of filler falling out as they drove along, as they went up the road, up the fire up lane or whatever. The Santa Pod, there'd just be filler dropping off them all over the place.
Yes, good old school building.
Those were the days.
I saw something the other day showing how to fill a repair patch in a car with just like spray foam and then bog on top of it. And I was just like, this is not a legitimate way of fixing this. It's like, and it also looked like more effort than getting the metal work done. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, if you watch any of the car shows at the moment, like any of them, every single car they go, "Oh, this is a really straight one," and then they go, "Oh, hang on a minute. There must be like one body shop in every 300 that does anything even remotely properly." Yeah, they're having competitions to see how thick you can get the filler on the best car. You know, we're doing a Ferrari. Let's. I reckon we can get 2 inches of filler on this Ferrari.
This Ferrari is strangely much larger than the one next to it. I don't understand why. Good old cars. Right, let's stop sharing this. Are you sponsored by any drinks people today, Simon?
I'm not. I'm literally drinkless. It didn't come through, and you won't believe how thirsty I am now.
I had a cup of tea. Which was
buy that
from
mug in the store.
Not at the moment, but I'm gonna bring them back in because I realised I do these videos with my Retro Road mug quite regularly. I'm using Newbury Jasmine Princess tea today. So Newbury, if you're out there and wish to sponsor us,
sponsor him. I don't need any tea.
No, you're not a tea person, are you? You just drink disgusting colas.
I drink squash, but I don't know.
Oh, you do drink squash, don't you?
I drink squash, yes. Maybe in Robinsons or something like that. I don't want to mention any names and lose sponsorship from potentially other ones, or Kiora or something like that. I don't know.
See if we get Kiora on the phone.
What we need to do is hurry up, though, because I'm getting so thirsty.
I will end it now in case Simon dies of actual thirst.
Lack of sponsorship.
So if you want to sponsor us and stop Simon from dying, come on, it's like one of those charity things on television. Simon has been in his room for 3 hours. He's dying of thirst. Send us £2 a month and Simon can drink again.
That's it. £2 a month. I thought it takes, is that the sponsorship deal on Retro
Yeah.
Rise at the moment?
Pretty much, yeah. Just
That's it.
send us £2 a month. I think that's what we make out of YouTube videos. So I think that literally is what we made last month from a YouTube video.
I thought it was £1.63 if I remember right.
No, that's what I sent you the first time. We've gone up now. I think we made £2.37 or something like that.
Oh, there you go.
It's worth the effort. We love doing it. So yeah, we will see you next week for more of this nonsense and probably some new formats and things we are working through because we have ideas and now we're getting used to doing the stuff. So see you fairly soon.